Yes, a bit of reggae there.
There's me wondering why my distortion pedal doesn't sound how I wanted it to sound. I got the wrong light switched on it, that's why. Anyway,
I remember the first time I put on a effect pedal. Hello, welcome to Andertons TV, I'm Pete.
And I'm Lee, and this, we are doing some coverage from all the new things and toys that came out at NAMM 2020.
And there was a lot, man.
There were tons.
There's so much.
So you may have watched some of the coverage we did live from the show. It was all a bit crazy, us wandering around with microphones going, oh, what's happening? Now we're back and we can take a little bit more time.
Breathe.
Going through.
And cry. Just a bit.
So Gretsch. Who doesn't love a Gretsch guitar?
Yeah.
Another one of those brands with incredible history and heritage, going right back into the dawn of rock and roll. Players like Chet Atkins back in the day, Brian Setzer, you know, over the 80s and more recently, and a host of other kind of more contemporary rock players.
Don't forget.
George Malcolm Young, George Harrison. Anyway.
There's loads.
So the entry level, or is that the right word? Whatever, the least expensive Gretsch guitars that you can buy are from a series they do called Streamliner.
Yeah.
I like that. It's kind of like if I was in a band, it'd be a cool name for a band.
The Streamliners.
So
Captain Lee and the Streamliner.
Yeah, everything you see behind us here and in our paws are from that Streamliner series, and so everything here is going to cost you somewhere between sort of £250 and £500, depending on how blinged up and beautiful the guitar is. So this piece of 1970s sideboard is the Gretsch G2210 Junior Jet.
Looks like it's hairy. Looks like
comes
a
in
Wookiee.
various different colours, which hopefully will appear on the screen now, and is the cheapest one we got. So these are like £250. Two Broadtron pickups on it, humbucking pickups, a three-way switch. I don't know what these are. Is this 2 volumes or a volume and a tone? A volume and a tone.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool and bolt-on neck, so it's like a slab body, affordable
How much?
single cut.
255 quid?
Yep.
My goodness me.
And in fairness, was probably why we did some reggae at the beginning, because it kind of reminded me of the Epiphone Les Paul, or was it a Gibson
I can't
Junior?
remember.
Whatever Bob Marley played.
It looks a bit like a Junior, doesn't it?
Yeah, like a Les Paul Junior type vibe. So let's have a little... With no pedals. Wraparound tailpiece.
Wrap around.
Okay action, nicely built, I must admit. I think this is one of these guitars, you know, that you could buy and just give it a bit of TLC and get a lot more out of
exactly.
it. But
play it a bit, you know.
maybe expectations straight out the box shouldn't be excessive.
I think people tend to forget that, you know, what do you get for 150 quid or 250 quid? You know,
yeah.
People buy jeans that cost more than that. Not me personally.
Not me, yeah. I get all my jeans for free from the lovely people at Timberland. Thanks, guys. You're ace.
They should give you some new ones for these holes, look.
I think these Broadtrons, so Gretsch, if you go back in the day, had a long-standing relationship with the TV Jones kind of Filtertron sort of vibe. They always had or have always been like a signature characteristic of Gretsch guitars. They're much honkier in the mid-range than a standard sort of PAF style humbucker, which is kind of cool and stacks nicely with gain.
Sure does.
But anyway, so that's the what did I say it was, the 2210 Junior, most affordable one. Yeah. Various different colours, kind of cool for that kind of money.
Yeah, it's a different tool to have in your thing. I've got the 26, 20, 55. These numbers always confuse me. 25. There's so many different numbers in there. 22, 24, 26,
Somehow,
25,
if you know the Gretsch range well, if it starts with a 2, so the original American Gretsch guitars would have been like a 6120. They typically started with a 6. Then when Gretsch did Electromatic, which is the mid-price stuff, they just repeated the model numbers but beginning with a 5. And Streamliner now just repeats the model numbers with a 2.
That makes sense to me now. Thanks for explaining that.
Yeah, you should be able to kind of work out somehow.
I know
where
the
this
T
is
is
supposed
if
to
it's
be.
the tremolo.
T is for tremolo, indeed.
This is probably my favourite colour of all of the colours that Gretsch are doing at the moment. And I think it's something like gunmetal blue or something like that. But look at that colour.
It's very cool. It's got like a greeny tint to it, hasn't it? But like a metallic.
It's just.
I like it. I like that a lot, actually.
And with it's got the nice double binding on it.
We should do a Fender custom shop thing in that colour.
Maybe we should do a Fender.
We should, like relict.
Because we know that Fender owns Gretsch, so
they do.
They can probably get these colours.
You'd think.
And these pickups are the BT2S, so
that's Broadtron again.
Yeah, the same.
I think
pickups.
All these guitars have got the same pickups in there. All the Broadtron design humbucker.
It's very truly.
Very true.
Because it's a
centre block.
Centre block. You know, you could get your finger in there, feel that block in there inside.
So I should explain again for people not familiar with this terminology. You have two kinds of semi-acoustic electric guitars. You have completely hollow, which some of the bigger jazz boxes are, or Epiphone make a guitar called the Casino, which is quite famous, completely hollow. And then you have centre block guitars like the Gibson ES335 or these, where really the hollow bits are just these side bits. Right down the middle, it's just a solid electric guitar, hence the word centre block. Yeah. And that's what these are. Yes. Tend to feed back a bit less than the completely hollow ones.
Exactly. And you've got this this kind of layout here. So you've got your three-way selector, which selects the pickups. You've got one master volume on here, and you've got a volume for each pickup and a tone, which is kind of handy if you are in the, so these two volumes, if you're in the middle position, because then you can have the master on full. You can blend in or blend out or whatever you want. So you can. You can sort of mix and match.
The master volume on Gretsch guitars is excessive. It's like I don't
think so. No, because what if you find your perfect tone, like here, but you go, oh, it's a bit too loud. Just got that there.
Nobody plays volume controls less than full on.
See,
99% of guitar players just have the volume tone up full all the time. Don't even realise what they're for, I think, half the time.
Yes, but hey, those 99% of guitar players should work with those tones, with the volume control, because it actually makes huge difference.
I like the block inlays. I like the block inlays on that.
It's great guitars, and here's a few tones, so here's the front pickup. I'm going to put everything on full, because that's what 99% of the guitar players are going to do out there. So... And here's a lick that I've learned from Lee. So, so here's some tones. Okay. A bit more gain.
This is such an insight into working with Pete. Once he realises there's something that just slightly annoys you, he lives off it for weeks.
I've been like that since I was 8 years old. And so I can see something like, I'll push it to the edge and then further.
Yeah, keep going, just keep
but
going.
I'll still have my foot on the edge there because I know, but I'll still. So that you heard there at the end when I popped on the Durple into the Dane, and you get that kind of. That's kind of what the centre block gives you.
It's I just think you can spot a Gretsch guitar. Anyway, look.
Yeah. It's got that hump sort of mid-range kind of thing.
The kind of player that's going to like this guitar is going to like the fact that it's actually not that much bigger in terms of size than keep it on your lap for a minute, because I think that's where this is quite an unusual guitar. It's not that much bigger than you traditionally see a Jet, like a Gretsch Jet, maybe an inch or so bigger. So it's nothing like the size of a full 335 or something like that.
An inch could makes the whole differently.
I was waiting for that one. It's semi-acoustic, so it's really light.
Oh, it's super light.
Crazy, crazy light. And you've got two choices within this range, as well as the colours, which hopefully will come on screen now. So you've got the hardtail. This is a Gretsch kind of thing.
I love
this V-shaped tailpiece here.
Love it.
So you can get this in different colours, or this is exactly the same guitar, but with a Bigsby. Didn't Fender buy Bigsby last year as well?
I think so.
I think they did, didn't they?
That's what we should buy. We should make.
Do you want to buy Andertons Fender?
We should put we should put a Bixby on a Telecaster, maybe a custom shop Telecaster or something. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Anyway.
So a couple of chords on this before we move on. As I said, same basic guitar, just with the Bigsby, different amp though.
Play the lick.
No, if you like guitars with trim systems on, perhaps if you've had a guitar with a Bigsby before, pros and cons I think of the Bigsby are looks wicked, has got a really interesting kind of sound when you use it, really simple to restring, not like a Floyd Rose or anything like that. But of all the trem systems you buy,
I wouldn't say it's really simple to restring.
Wouldn't
if you
you?
Restring a Bigsby, because these
Still
old
one string at a time.
Yeah, so they've done the Pro Series where there's a hole through.
Yeah.
This is there's a little there's a little pin that comes out where you have to put the string into like this. So whenever
I thought that was going through the
that's on the Pro one. You can get them, but they're not on these ones. So every time I would restring one of these, I'll string one string at a time.
Yeah, good idea.
Put a capo on here, just hold on so it doesn't flip backwards. There is things you can upgrade, like you can upgrade the spring. So you
they do different tension springs. Don't they?
You can. There's
but
you can have a look.
I would say the one thing the Bigsby probably is a bit notorious for is its tuning stability. So if you give it lots of wobble, expect it to be a little bit unstable. But if you listen to any guitar music from the 1950s, none of it was in tune anyway.
And it still isn't.
What does it really matter? Okay, what have you got now, Mr. Pete?
Well, this one is a proper big, as we call it, a jazz box.
A jazz box.
Or people can call it a jazz box, but you know. This is the 2420, which is a sunburst kind of trapeze-tailed wood.
Floating
floating
bridge,
I think
isn't
you can float that around. Again, the Broadtrons. Again, the same configuration as three-way selector bow. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe some kind of
laminate maple is the body.
Yeah.
I don't know what the neck is actually on these.
It'll
be on our website. Probably maple as well.
The links are below. But listen to that. Just it's a proper old-fashioned.
With these, what you decide to string it with completely gives it the characteristics from a sort of a. These all comes with regular round wound strings on it, so it's absolutely going to have that slightly more jangly acoustic kind of vibe to it. All the jazzers, or most of the jazzers, would put heavier flat wounds on it, and that's where you get that thumpy, big bass, jazzy tone out of it. So that's up to you.
And then also what kind of amp you use with that, because you can use stuff, but.
Oh, I like that. So the pickups are just mounted to the surface of the guitar.
Yeah. If I could see you,
and so therefore still pretty light. Now basically, just if you think about how much an acoustic guitar weighs, it's roughly the same.
Yeah, they're very, and then. Well, you can throw some gain on it. You know, you see some people go.
Yeah, they're kind of in the olden. They would have been synonymous with those kind of rock and roll and rockabilly kind of bands.
Well,
wouldn't they?
or if you know, every 99% of you, according to Lee, will use everything on full, but you could do that kind of thing.
You've been reading those jazz mags again, Pete?
Yes, let's call them jazz mags.
I like the little G on the tailpiece. I've been here just holding, going, I'm not going to play this now because Pete makes me feel so inferior in these videos.
Just play, man.
No, so again, exactly the same guitar, just with a Bigsby. So nice and easy. If you see a Gretsch model number and it's got a T on the end, it typically will mean that there'll be another corresponding model number with no T on the end, and it'll just be the hardtail. Again, pros and cons with. Do you know what? I'm guessing this is a floating bridge. On the old jazzes, it would have been that. Sometimes there are pins that hold it in place.
I think maybe these looks like they might have been glued on. But hey.
You do potentially on a guitar with a floating bridge. Be careful. You take all the strings off, the bridge just comes off.
One string at a time.
And although it's you just put it back on, it's not like it's broken or anything. Of course, you need to put it on. If you put it on in the wrong place, the intonation of the guitar will be wrong.
Yeah. That's.
I like it. I nearly went for it there. Did you see it?
In the end. I got distracted by
so did I. I think the colours are great. Price-wise, I'm pretty sure again these are all the last two models that we did sub 500. Yeah. So I don't know what else you could even really go to with something like this. Maybe
classics, Epiphones.
That's what I'm saying. If you wanted a jazz box, there's one or two Ibanez's in their Art Core range.
The Angelico.
not this cheap.
They're about
Not this cheap.
they're
6 or
maybe
7. It's like next one up.
Yeah.
Maybe things like is it Epiphone Broadway and things like that.
There's a new one which I can't remember. I saw a new
Uptown
Epiphone.
Cat.
Oh.
Uptown Cat is more like that, isn't it? In fact,
Yes, but it's got little humbuggers on it, hasn't it?
yes, mini humbuggers.
Yeah.
So really, really cool. Great guitars, Gretsch Streamliner range. So that, I think, Mr. Pete, concludes.
Yes, Mr. Lee.
Did I play this one?
Oh no, you did not. Maybe you can play that.
You're
on the way
totally
out.
right. There's one more. There is one more.
Mute it. Mute your.
And
Hang on.
this one, I know why that was stuck all lonely over the side there, because although there is a Bigsby version of this, we didn't have it.
Yeah.
So again, on screen now is this model, which is the G2622, and there'll be a corresponding 2622T in different colours and stuff. So
Before you play, Lee, can I just point out that these guitars feel great to play? They're
Yep.
super duper easy to play.
the only
There's
one-
no sharp frets on it. There's no.
the only one straight out of the box that I thought had a slightly awkward action, and I think you would have to give a bit of TLC to that, is the
Yeah.
cheapest one, the 20. Anyway.
Anyway, totally, please.
This is the most like a 335, isn't it? Really?
Oh yes.
But honkier. What is it? What's that? No, that's not what I was trying to play. I was trying to think, because wasn't some of that old ZZ Top stuff on a
well, that's
Gretsch?
it.
That is what I was trying to play badly, obviously.
G.
So let's, this feels
Have we
light
set- have
as
we set
well.
enough?
I think so. I think we
Because
should
I
just.
think the
There's
video's
another
getting
video
long now,
coming
we're
shortly
yapping.
after this one. Maybe tune in next week or whatever, where we'll do the Electromatics
Electromatic.
that came out new at NAMM. So
Yeah.
it's the next one up.
But these are great value for money. Links are below.
Amazing value.
Thanks you
Yeah.
for watching.
Thanks you.
2020. Here we come.
Hashtag
I'm
2020. I'm Lee, sometimes known as the Captain.
Capitan, sometimes
El
known as
Capitan.
Danish Pete.
Sometimes known as the guy that plays the same lick over and over again. If you could spell this, that would be my name, wouldn't it?
I'm sure. Okay, here's a thing for you out there. Whoever's clever with numbers and guitar and maths and letters, I'm sure you would go like string 4, 5th fret. That could be like a number, and this could be number. So please put it in the comment section below what you think it's going to be. Thank you for watching. We're going to jam out. Links below. Hit the notification button and subscribe. And please follow Lee on Facebook and play that lick for him as much as you can. Thank you.
That's a good ending.
Skulle vi højt.